Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another edition of Vantage Point on ITV. I'm your host, Mohammed Choonara. Thank you for joining us this evening. In South Africa, we're truly blessed with so many different organizations doing so much good work in the community, whether it be in the Indian, the African, the white, the colored community. But the NPCs and the NPOs in this country do so much to keep the spirit of liberation alive in the country. And tonight I'm delighted to be joined by two gentlemen from the CBE, which is the Congress of Business and Economics, who are going to be having a gala dinner on Saturday next week. And we're going to be speaking tonight more about the dinner, more about the CBE. So I'm delighted to be joined this evening by Yusuf Musaji and Rashid Chobdat. Brothers, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Vantage Point.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum salam, Mohammed, and to the viewers as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Yusuf, we'll start with you. What is the CBE? We've seen the signs around. We've received the WhatsApp messages. What is CBE?
Mohammed, CBE, the Congress of Business and Economics, emerged out of the Transvaal Indian Congress as we know at that particular time. It was initially known as the Transvaal Indian Congress Business and Economic Group. The name was subsequently changed to Congress of Business and Economics. We believe and we model ourselves as a progressive business organization. We've been in existence since 1989. We went into a bit of a remission after the advent of democracy, and in 3-4 years back, some of the old executives of the Congress of Business and Economics got together and believed that we need to revitalize the organization, especially since seeing that while our political battle has certainly been won, the economic battle is far from over, and we have a role to play. And with that in mind, we had a conference with people from the old Transvaal Indian Congress and other role players to ascertain the need for revitalizing this organization and getting feedback. It was absolutely unanimous from a broad spectrum of people that this organization needs to exist, and the role that I believe we need to play now is even more important than the role we've played. Those days, there were a lot of organizations. We were part of the Patriotic Front. We were part of the mass democratic movement at the time that toppled the South African apartheid government at that particular stage. We've become very lax after that as civil society as well. Democracy has been won. We've now accepted it. It's a hard-fought democracy, I must add, but there's still a lot of poverty. There's still a lot of problems. If an organization like the CB and others like the CB does not exist, we can't take up the cudgels as individual people. We need to take up the cudgels as organizations and fight, continue fighting until we win battles upon battles upon battles. And that's the reason why we exist.
You mentioned something very important, and both of you could answer that. We 25, 26 years into democracy now. We've got the freedom to vote, we've got the freedom to elect the government, we've got all those freedoms, but economic freedom is something that has evaded the majority of the people. So I'm sure when you see driving from wherever you came from to the studios, you'll see like communities being built under highway bridges. You see massive squatter camps being built. So how can an organization like CBE help to improve the lives, improve the economy, thus improving the lives of all those who are struggling so much, which unfortunately are the majority, which are black people in this country?
We need to engage government to create an enabling environment to make sure that there's easily entrance for new businesses to get in, because it is small business that creates employment. It's not big business that creates employment. But unfortunately, we have a lot of red tape in South Africa. I'm reminded by a conference that we hosted where Clem Santa was the guest speaker. And he mentioned an incident where there was an American businessman that wanted to invest in South Africa. So he came down, he had a look at what is required, what was necessary, and he spoke to Clem. 3 years later, Clem met with him on some function or wherever it was, and he said, you know, you spoke 3 years back and I see you haven't as yet invested. He says, Clem, South Africa welcomed me with red tape. Australia welcomed me with a red carpet. So we need to engage government, and we need to tackle government, and we need to ask those difficult questions. Because I don't believe we have an enabling environment, and we need to change that to create jobs, to make this a better country for everyone that lives in it.
Okay.
In addition, we also need to engage government to relook at our education system. We are not bringing youth into the economic fold that are skilled. They sorely lack in a lot of aspects of modern day technology and business skills. So the whole Skills Act needs to be relooked again, and we hope that we could contribute towards that as well, and asking the government to relook at that and even assist in some ways or the other with the revising of the Skills Act.
Okay, one of the highlights of the year is the CBE dinner, where the heroes of the struggle, heroes of the country, there could also be new heroes that we've seen, honored at the CBE dinner. Tell us, why do you have the dinner?
As a progressive business organization, we call the team is tribute to our heroes. We believe we need to recognize people that have contributed to this hard-fought democracy. Unfortunately, some of the awards that we've given are posthumous awards, because we need to recognize those people as well. It's a recognition award. History needs to be remembered all the time, and we need to, at the same time, keep on telling the stories, because 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, the new generation will not know the role that their forefathers has played in the liberation of this country. So the CBE acknowledges that. We create these dinners. In fact, it's a calendar event for the CBE. Those that have attended the events in the past have raved about it, and they look forward to attending the CBE function, because it is a night of recognition, it's a night of celebration, it's a night of enjoying the food, the ambience. So it's a tribute to our heroes. You know.
Something very important you mentioned, it's to recognize those who've played such an important role in the democracy of South Africa. I think off air we were chatting about the school curriculum, and you also mentioned education in your previous answer. How important it is for our kids, the new generation. Maybe our generation is a bit different, because our parents and grandparents have spoken to us about the heroes of the struggle. But our children are learning about the Anglo-Boer War, which I'm not saying is not important, but they're not learning about the true liberation struggle in South Africa. That is the liberation struggle fought by people like Mandela, by Kathrada, by Sisulu. That's the names we know, but there's so many unsung heroes in the struggle. And I think your organization, honoring unsung heroes, plays a very important role in keeping their legacy alive.
Yes, correct. If you look at our last year's list of awardees, there were some landmark people that were there. For example, Firoz Kachalia. Incidentally, the awards are for people that are alive and dead, so we're going to look both ways. Castellucci, that was one of the senior members of CHISWA. Krish Naidu, the human rights lawyer. There was Dr. Ridwan Mia. Then we had people like Zubaida Jafar. So a whole wide variety of people that we recognize across the whole spectrum of the society. And it's not only within the Indian community, so it's open to all race groups. One of them was the retired Chief Justice, Dikgang Moseneke, as well. So we go that far to recognize people across the board.
I think it's really important that we're going throughout the communities, because the liberation was fought by everybody in South Africa. There were white people, there were black people, there were Indians, there were colors. When one reads the books that are out and you see how they all work together, and I think that's a lesson for us in getting this Rainbow Nation back together. So I think that's really important. So tell us more about the 18th of November's function. What's going to be happening? Where's the function taking place? Just tell us a bit more about the function that night.
Indeed, yeah. On the 18th, we are having the dinner at the Palm Continental Hotel in Crown Mines. It's going to start around about 7 o'clock. We have packaged a unique brand. We like to believe it's a unique brand. We're able to bring together people from captains of industry, from government, business, small business, to come down and meet and attend this function. We're also hoping to try and get a lot of young people in the corporate world to come across, because they, like you said, they need to know the history that's going on. So that night we're going to have a real wonderful evening. And just to give you an example of what happens. People come in there, there's a warm reception. So we give value for money. When you come there right at the beginning, you get a very warm welcome. Of course, this year they're going to be honored with you interviewing them as well, ITV. When they go in, there's facilities for prayers as well. Then the main program starts. And sometimes, at this stage, a lot of people don't know who the awardees are, because it's supposed to be a closely guarded secret. But at that stage, we kind of give them an inkling of what's going to happen. Now, just to tell you how this brand works, it's entertaining, there's a bit of entertainment, there's some light music, some humor involved. We have a good MC in the name of Candice Moodley. She's going to be comparing the event. We allow people interaction to kind of exchange business cards. It's a networking event as well.
That's what I was coming to. So it's not going to be this formal sit-down event where everybody's sitting around the table and not doing much. So this is going to be more interactive. Correct. And networking. I think that's the buzzword now, networking.
Yep. They will get a chance to meet all these important VIPs. And we're giving 10 awards in an inaugural award called the Mohammed Choonara Excellence in Leadership Award.
I need to stop you for a minute, because I think we're whetting our viewers' appetite out there. We need to take a short break now. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Vantage Point. I'm still joined in studio by Brother Yusuf Musaji and Rashid Chobdat from the CBE, and we're discussing the CBE Gala Dinner, the Night of Legends, that will take place on the 18th of November at the Palm Continental Hotel in Johannesburg. Brothers, assalamu alaikum and welcome back.
Walaikum salam.
Before the break, you were whetting our appetite with some of the names. I know it's supposed to be a secret and we don't want to really let it get out of the bag, but if you can, just mention maybe one or two of the names, just to get the viewers out there a bit excited about who might be attending it.
Praveen Gordhan, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe a judge, okay, a human rights judge. I'm not going to mention his name. How about former public protector Thuli Madonsela?
Okay, I think I'm going to let you. I'm going to leave it now at that stage. I think the two names you mentioned, and the retired judge. I think we get an inkling of who the retired judge might be. But I think it's important, based on what's happening in the country at the moment. I think people would be interested to hear the thoughts of somebody like Praveen Gordhan, somebody like Thuli Madonsela. I mean, we all listen to the news, we watch the news, we see the newspapers, state capture, state of capture. Having guests like that to speak to the youth and the younger community just brings the awareness of what's happening in the country.
Well, here's another appetizer before Yusuf comes in. Each one of them will be speaking for 3 minutes as well after they get the award. So there'll be something to really come forward to and listen.
So you've got 10 awards that you're giving out. Before we go to Yusuf, mention the Mohammed Choonara Achievement Award.
It's called the Mohammed Choonara Excellence Leadership Award. Yusuf will be speaking on that one. And we've also introduced another one called the CBE Innovation Award. Innovators Award, excuse me. Yusuf, you want to come in at this stage?
No problem. In recognition of the role that Mohammed Choonara has played, and a huge role that he's played, we've spoken to the Choonara Foundation, and we've decided that this year's award, the 10 awards, we're giving 10 awards out, and those 10 awards will be in recognition of the role he played. So it's called the Mohammed Choonara Leadership, Excellence in Leadership Award. And I must tell you, Mohammed, that all 10 awardees are extremely, extremely powerful. Those that come to the function will really appreciate the eminence of the 10 people. We've also created another award, which we call the Innovators Award. And this is in recognition of business people, or not necessarily business people, just people that have innovated a particular concept or an idea that creates jobs, number one, and also puts South Africa in the forefront. And there's 2 awards going out this year. The one is actually a team, and the one is an individual, and I believe that both of them are extremely worthy recipients of this particular award as well.
I want to add a punchline to that. I don't think this country will ever see 10 people of that nature together, not for a long, long time. So I'm going to punt this now. Then people need to buy the tickets as soon as possible.
Okay, I'm going to throw a spanner into the works. Do you think these 10 on this list could form part of the next cabinet in government?
I don't believe they would. You know, it's surprising you said it, because I actually thought about it, that each one has got their expertise and their core competencies. And if you have to throw them into a room and says form a cabinet, they certainly will able to do it, create a very formidable cabinet. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
So to our viewers out there, the teasers have been sent out on who's going to be there. I think it's going to be a really interesting night. Very few people know all 10 who are going to be there, or not many people know the 10 who are going to be there. So I think if you are in the Johannesburg area, I think Brother Yusuf will speak to us in a while about how you can get tickets. But before that, another important and a fun part of the evening, and something the CBE Awards and the night is known for, is a storytelling. People mention, a few years ago, you had Mozi Mullah and Dr. Jassat speaking, and Ronnie Castle speaking about the daring escape from Marshall Square. Last year you had other people speaking in the storytelling event. This year seems to be even more exciting. Tell us more about your storytelling.
Just a slight correction, Mohammed. It wasn't Dr. Jassat, it was his brother Abdullah Jassat that were in Marshall Square. It was very enthralling, and people really appreciated it. Last year we had Popo Molefi, we had Zubaira Jafar, and we had Vali Musa as the storytellers. This year we've decided to have 2 storytelling segments. And the storytelling segment, as you rightfully pointed out earlier on, is actually one of the highlights of the evening as well, which people look forward to. It's really an engaging session. And Sean Bolton from the Katara Foundation normally moderates that for us, and he probably will be doing the same thing. Sean just went under a major operation, but having spoken to him, he says, no, he will be okay for that evening. We've got Ibrahim, you know, the former advisor to the president, and we've got Muvuso Simang. Muvuso Simang is from the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Now, the common thread between 2 of them, they both were MK cadres, and they fought together. So Sean will probably extricate a storytelling session that's going to be more, you know, their life, in a fun way, in an engaging, fun way. And that's what we did with the previous storytelling session. And we hope to be able to replicate that as well. But this year, we've also decided to go one further, given the recent, inquests with the late Ahmed Timol and the interest around it. We felt that we should get Imtiaz Kaji and late Ahmed Timol's brother, Mohammed Timol, to be part of the second aspect of the storytellers, and that will also happen. So we're really looking forward to an engaging, entertaining, and an evening where people will really, you know, sit back, relax, enjoy, and that's what happened at our previous function, and we're hoping that it will happen at this year's function as well.
What I can add is that, you know, last year there were some emotions. You take people like Dr. Fini Kinwala, came with a walking stick. Whatever it took, she got there. And when she received that award, it was an emotional moment for her. And myself and Nizam that gave her the award. Suddenly, a lot of things come from the heart. And that is something they recognize. And people write to us and tell us, listen, guys, when's the next function? And I can assure people that are going to come there, they are not going to be disappointed.
That's the important thing. It's we honoring people who played such an important role, not only in our lives, but going forward in the lives of our children, we take it for granted that our children have grown up in a totally democratic South Africa. But when you look at some of the people and what they've done, I think it's really important that, and I salute this organization for taking the time to honor these heroes of the struggle and heroes of our parliament and heroes of democracy, because of their efforts, the flame of democracy is burning bright in this country. So I truly admire you. Yusuf, if you can tell our viewers out there, how do you get tickets, the price of the tickets, give us more information on the event.
Okay, look, we're selling tables for 10,000 Rand, and that tables would entail 10 people sitting on the table. Individual tickets are being sold at the 1,000 Rand. You can go on to our email address is info@cbeonline. If you need to drop us a line, we'll certainly respond to that. Or you can go on our website, which is www.cbeonline. On the website, you'll be able to see the information on this year's function. You're also able to see the past functions that we've held, together with the photographs and the people that we've awarded in the past. Please drop us a line. We'd be more than happy to assist you. And we believe that it's, for corporates out there to invite your clients or to just entertain just your family at a function like this is going to speak volumes, because what, we learn from these type of functions, and also the history behind the storytelling. Our first function was in 2013. Up to today, we still have people talking about it, and what an eventful evening it was. The only problem that the CBA has, unfortunately, is that our functions has always been of a very high caliber. And because it's been of such a high caliber, you have this problem that you have to keep it to those type of standards, and you can't drop. Rashid has printed something out there with just a few of the comments that we've received from our last function on some of the people. When he mentioned the Vantage Jinwala, which was the previous Speaker of Parliament, and when Vali Musa spoke at our last year's function, they were totally emotional, because the one thing that they've realized is that the Transvaal Indian Congress, in a sense, is still existing in the form of the CBE. A lot of people believe that the organization the TIC rather, should not have disbanded. Yeah. The CBE has got this incredible, massive role to play. The platform is there. We need people, business people, to join hands with us, to partner with us. There's a major, we owe, what we're doing now, Mohammed, is we owe it to our grandchildren to make sure that they have a better life in this country. Our forefathers have fought, and some of them, unfortunately, has not seen freedom in their lifetime. They've created that freedom for us. We now have to make sure that South Africa is a better place for everyone that lives in it. And that we have to create now.
I could just read one or two lines from, one of them is from a judge. It says, on behalf of myself and the wife, please accept our deep appreciation for hosting of a wonderful event on Saturday. The food, the atmosphere, the hospitality, and great attention detail reflected the fantastic passion and commitment of all involved. And I think that encapsulates just about everything what this function is going to stand for.
I'm really looking forward to being there on the 18th of November and rubbing shoulders with who's who in the political space. And brothers, thank you so much for joining us this evening. To our viewers out there, remember, you can go onto the CBE website. It's www.cbeonline.coza, or send an email to info@cbeonline.co.za for more information on this function. If you are in the Johannesburg area, I suggest try and get your tickets for this event. It's going to be a really important event. And as Brother Rashid has just mentioned a few minutes ago, I don't think we're going to get the caliber of these people in the same room at the same time for a very long time. We've seen them on different platforms. Having them together in one room at the same time is going to be very, very interesting. We've run out of time this evening. Yusuf, Rashid, thank you so much for joining us. To all our viewers out there, until we meet again, fi amanillah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.